Okay, Taisha, let's try this. Let's redo this 4-7 review notes day 2, and we'll try it this way. You can see me work it out. Maybe this will be better for you. Now, here's the first problem. You may want to pause, copy it down on your own paper, and kind of follow my steps as I do it. This little circled number I put over here is the homework number that you can use this example for help on. Okay. All right, and I hope I don't shake the camera too much for you, but here we go. Okay, we have this variable e that we can treat it just like if it were an x. And we know that if we have x's that we are multiplying together, we add those exponents. Okay, you add those. We would do the same thing here with these two e's. We would just take this x minus 4, might not be in focus here, let's see. That looks a little better. That x minus 4 and that 5x minus 3. Try that. And we would add those together and we would get x plus 5x. We would get an exponent of 6x, and then minus 4 plus 3, we would get a minus 1. Then the 7 and the 2, we would just multiply together like normal, and we get an answer of 14e raised to the 6x minus 1. So just treat these e's just like they were x's, and if we're multiplying here, we just add those exponents. Okay? Then on number 2, and again, you could be able to use this example for help on your homework on number 2. Just like a normal problem, we have 10 divided by 2 right there, so we're going to divide those and get 5. And then same rule applies here. That says e squared over e to the 8th. So what do we do when we divide exponents? We subtract them. So 8 minus 2 would be e to the 6th. Since the 8's bigger than the 2, that goes on the bottom. Now the difference between these two answers is this one over here this e has a variable up in this exponent. This one does not. It just has a 6. Okay, so what we would call this one is the exact answer. Now, since there's no variable here, we can actually punch e to the 6th in our calculator. And you said you had your brother's calculator. I know on my calculators, from like the ones I have at school, you have an e to the, hold on a second, let me actually grab mine. All right, you can probably hear me dropping things. On my calculators, I have a button that says e to the x, and it's sits right above the LN button. So you're looking for that e to the x button. That'll allow you to punch in this e to the 6th power. Then you can just type, in your calculator, 5 divided by e to the 6th, and we can actually get a decimal answer on this one of 0.012. Okay. Now these two log problems. Again, this one will help you with homework number 3. What you want to recognize between this log problem and this log problem is this one has logs everywhere. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to recognize. So what that means is eventually down here we want to end up, we want to end up with a log base 4 of something equals another log base 4 of something. If we can get to there, then we can just simply take whatever is in these two parentheses and make them equal. So we'll see if we can get this set up here. Well, we have a couple rules with logarithms. We're actually 3 rules with logarithms. There's 2 of them in here, so you can remember this. Whenever you have this number like this 2 sitting in front of a logarithm, you can put it back up here as an exponent. And then that part right there would be log base 4 of 25. Okay. This one would stay log base 4 of x. And over here we have log base 4 of 150. So that's the first rule. If you got a number sitting out front, we can put it back up as an exponent. And then since there was a 5 here, we can actually make that a 25. Now your second rule is that this says addition right here. It's a log plus a log. Now you can remember what to do here by remembering, let's go back up here. Remembering this rule. When you multiply here, what do you do with the exponents? You add them. So in logarithms, it's just the reverse of that. Here we're adding the logarithms. So what can we do with these two things? Having trouble drawing my arrows. we can put them together as a multiplication and just say 25x. And what we've done there by moving that 2 back up and then making this plus tell us to multiply those two, now we only have 1 log on this side. And we only have 1 log on this side. So we have this setup that we were looking for. Now all we do when we get to here is we take this 25x, I'm running out of room here, equals that 150, and you solve it like normal, divide by 25, and you get an answer of 4. Okay. Then number 3, the difference between number 4, the difference between number 4 and number 3 again. Now remember on number 3 we had logs everywhere. Over here you see how this 3 doesn't have a log. All right. So eventually, we're getting ahead of ourselves here a little bit, but eventually we're going to do the hook, if you remember the hook. I'll show you here in a second. But on this side we have a log minus a log. Now let's go back up here to example number 2. Whenever we divided here, what did we do with our exponents? We subtracted them. Whoops, that's backwards. We did 8 minus 2. We subtracted them. So whenever we divided, we subtracted. Okay? Now logarithms is just the reverse of that. So you would say I'm subtracting. So what should I do with these two pieces? If you're subtracting, then you should divide. So we would have the log of 200x plus 160 divided by this x. And this is always, whatever comes first goes in your numerator, whatever comes after the subtraction goes in your denominator. Okay? Equals 3. Let me change colors here. Okay, so now this side does not have a logarithm. So now it's time to do the hook. Remember how the hook works. It's this number down here. Looks like that. That's what the hook looks like. Okay, so first off, if there's no number written down here, it's a 10 on this log. It's a 10. So when we do our hook, we would say 10 to this power, 3, equals whatever's sitting in there. All of that, okay? Now the easiest way to do this is first off 10 cubed is 1,000. Is just put this side over top of 1 and cross multiply. Okay? And whenever I cross multiply, this one has the x, well they both have x's in them so it's not really going to matter. But we can cross multiply. 1 times all that just gives me 200x plus 160. Then the other direction would be 1,000x. Forgot a 0. And then we just solve that. Subtract my 200x and I get 800x equals 160. Divide by my 800 and we'll get x to be equal to, having trouble doing this through the camera, don't laugh, x equals 1/5. Okay? So again, you can use these steps on number 4. Now I will say on your homework on number 4, it's not an log in here. Let me double check if that was number 4. Yes, it was. Okay, on number 4, this is not an log, it's an ln. But just remember, you could change that ln to a log base e, okay? And then you're going to have an e right here, and when you do your hook, you'd have e to that power, and then you can punch that in your calculator, the e to that power, like we did with this one right here, okay? That's on number 4. All right, so let's hope this video works a little bit better here. Let me do this for you also. Let me find it right quick. In case you don't have a printer, here are 4 problems you can do for some practice. Sorry about the shadow. There's number 1. There's number 2. There's number 3. And there's number 4. And again, follow along with the example problems that I paired up with those. Then whenever you finish these, you can just take a picture of it and attach it to an email and send it to me, and I'll take care of it from there. That might be easiest for you. So I hope maybe this will help you out. Let me know, a video like this where I work them out and you hear my voice and everything and see what the work I'm doing. Maybe this is better for you. I know it's just going on a 10, 11 minute video, but when I get better at doing it, they can be a little shorter. Okay, so I'm gonna send this to your email.